your official summer baseball station. Cubs baseball in high definition is sponsored by Comcast. Let's quickly get the Houston Astros starting lineup. Bourne, Keppinger, Tejada at the top. Lee has crushed the Cubs here. Blum, Pence, Ivan Rodriguez back at the plate. Chris Coase playing first, and Roy Oswalt doing the pitching. Ryan Dempster will make his first pitch in anger since July 2nd, and here it comes to Michael Bourne, and a single into center to start it.
Take a look at how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Ryan Dempster. Brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, refresh everything. Soriano, Fukudome, and Bradley across the outfield. Ramirez, Terrio, Fontenot, Lee across the infield. Coy Hill behind the plate last night. He threw out Michael Bourne for the 9th caught stealing for the Astros center fielder in the ball game last night. And Coy Hill will be catching right-hander Ryan Dempster.
So he goes right from the stretch after giving up a first pitch single. Jeff Keppinger takes a strike. .77 degrees. The wind out of the northeast at 3. Michael Bourne leads the league in steals. He was caught last night running on a 3-0 pitch in the 3rd inning.
Keppinger in the lineup for Cecil Cooper at second base tonight instead of Kaz Matsui, based on the numbers against Ryan Dempster. Matsui batting from the left side against Dempster, 2 for 13 lifetime, as opposed to Jeff Keppinger, who's 6 for 15. That's a .400 batting average. So the right-handed hitter gets the nod tonight against the righty.
Dempster was on the DL with a broken right big toe. Suffered, actually, as he was celebrating, he went over the railing after a win against Milwaukee and tripped and landed hard on his right foot and suffered a broken toe and was pretty embarrassed about it. While all the while having a pretty good sense of humor about it as well. He's got a lot of hockey buddies who've been giving him the business, saying, come on, broken toe, you can pitch through it. Brian Gorman will call the balls and strikes in his 18th season in the big leagues.
And Ryan Dempster has passed all the tests, not only throwing his side sessions, a simulated game.
Runner going, and it's hit foul.
And one thing a lot of people don't realize, with a pitcher coming back off the disabled list, especially for a foot injury, Larry Rothschild had Dempster out on the field working on pickoff moves. He had him coming off the mound fielding bunts. He had him run the bases, all the other activities that you're going to have to do other than just throw the baseball. And Larry was satisfied that Ryan Dempster's ready to take the ball tonight and go out there and give him 80 to 85 pitches, hopefully.
That's about the only good thing about the Bourne single. Didn't work a deep count. Keppinger, however, has, and fouls that 2-2 into the upper deck. Well, Dempster's last start resulted in a win. His first victory in a month. He went winless in June despite having a 3.23 ERA. So he was throwing the ball well when he got hurt. Base hit right field. Bourne's going to make the turn and will easily get to third. They're at the corners with nobody out. The Astros last night in 13 innings scored 1 run, a leadoff homer in the second from Carlos Lee. So it's been a while since they've crossed the plate, but they are threatening right off the bat tonight.
Keppinger driving that sinker up and out over the plate into right field. Good battling at bat for the Astros second baseman. That's one thing, as you alluded to there. Ryan Dempster needs to keep his pitch count down, get some efficient, quick outs from these Astros hitters tonight.
Cubs will give up a run to turn a double play. 1-0 on Miguel Tejada. Comes in at 327. 2 doubles last night. League leading 33 two-base hits. Leads the league with 130 hits overall. And trailing only Hanley Ramirez for the National League batting title. We'll see Hanley Ramirez this weekend in Florida. He's hitting .348. Actually, Tejada's third is Pablo Sandoval. And the Giants passed him last night.
Yeah, Tejada among the league leaders in a lot of offensive categories, including grounding into double plays. How's that? Let's put the whammy on him here. 15 times this year he's grounded into a twin killing. Yadier Molina leads the National League with 18 double plays grounded into.
The kick and the 2-1, a high deep drive for Tejada as Fukudome's back on the track. He leaps, he made the catch, pulled it out of the vines. It'll be a long sac fly for Tejada. I think if he hits it last night, it's a home run. The wind is blowing in, not very much, but it wasn't helping that deep fly. And that's a big first out.
Thank goodness the conditions are a little different tonight. Tejada thought he got enough of it. He crushed that ball just to the left to straightaway center, but Fukudome never gave up on it, never took his eye off the ball, climbs high into the vines to make the catch. The Astros will push one run across. Looks like they're going to appeal that Michael Bourne may have left third base too early. Well, maybe not. I thought Ramirez was standing on the base over there at third, which usually means that Ryan Dempster will get a sign, go into his set position, step off the rubber, and then appeal that the runner left too soon. But apparently the Cubs are content that Bourne did tag up properly.
Ball one on Carlos Lee. Hit his 16th home run last night. His career 297th. This is down along the right field line and no play for Bradley. Carlos is always making friends out in left field. He was turning around a lot last night and having some fun with the members of the bleachers. We have to give him credit. He did it before he hit the home run. It's easy to chirp at him after you hit a homer. Soriano will catch it for the second out.
There may have been a time early in Carlos Lee's career coming here to Wrigley Field that he tried to bang heads with the bleacher bums out there in left field, but I think he learned his lesson rather quickly, and I wouldn't say that any visiting player is well loved by the bleacher creatures, but they have a good time with Carlos Lee.
He's very comfortable in this ballpark, hitting over 300, and I'm sure wears it as a badge of honor that he gets booed every time he comes to the plate. 1-0 on Jeff Blum. Dempster could get through this, only allowing one. You'd have to feel pretty fortunate considering how the inning started. Wouldn't necessarily say he's pitching to the conditions, but again, if the wind's blowing out, it's 3-0. Just how it goes in this ballpark. 2-1. Now 2-2. Good fastball at 92. Keppinger not a big threat to steal at first. The kick and the pitch. Smothered by Hill.
That's one big difference with Keppinger in the lineup as opposed to Kaz Matsui. Kaz Matsui has stolen base speed and will run. Likes to steal bases. Keppinger a little more of a station to station type of a player. Only 2 stolen bases attempted. He's been caught both times.
Coy Hill basically caught a complete game last night and had the last 4 innings off. Soft liner, and that's stabbed by Fontenot to end the Astros first. A run on 2 hits and a sac fly, and the Cubs are coming up. By Pepsi, refresh everything. Some hitting streaks in this lineup. Fukudome, career best 9-gamer. Ramos Ramirez with a 5-game extra base hit streak. And Alfonso Soriano's hit in 10 in a row.
Look at the Astros defensively. El Caballo, Carlos Lee in left. Michael Bourne covers a lot of ground out in center, as does Hunter Pence in right. Blum, Tejada, Keppinger, and Coast across the infield. Put Rodriguez behind the plate tonight for right-hander Roy Oswalt. 28th career start against the Chicago Cubs.
Hasn't lost in over a month. 3-0 with an ERA of 2 his last 6 games. And how about that? Bourne with the first pitch single, and now Fukudome. Bourne lost his footing. Kosuke trying to get to second, and he is tagged out. So Michael Bourne, basically from the seat of his pants, will pick up his 9th outfield assist as he got it to Tejada, who relayed to Keppinger. That's a base running mistake, Bob, but at least it's an aggressive mistake early on.
Now, mistakes of aggression, managers can live with for the most part. You're going to get thrown out occasionally trying to force the issue, try to put pressure on the defense. It's hate to see it happen.
No doubt. The 1-0 to Terrio, catches the outside corner on a fastball at 93. Well, if you're going to face Roy Oswalt, you'd rather face him anywhere but his home ballpark. He has gone 74-24, or 50 games over 500 in his career at Minute Maid Park. He's pretty good on the road too. He has an ERA under 360, but you give yourself a better chance when he's in a road uniform.
You see a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup mix from Roy Oswald. On a given night, he'll throw a lot of curveballs if he has a good feel for it. He'll change speeds on it a lot. Doesn't throw too many changeups to righties. Doesn't throw many sliders to the lefties, but has 4+ pitches. Might see some of those Bugs Bunny curveballs tonight that he flips up there about 62 or 63 miles an hour. It's like slow pitch softball.
Terrio grounds to short and is now 0 for 7 in the series. No hits and 0 for 7. He's grounded out to short now 3 times already in the series. Here's Derek Lee. A single, a homer, and 3 walks, the last of which led to the game-winning run. He walked to lead off the bottom of the 13th and scored the first of 4 runs on the Soriano game-ending grand slam.
I said it last night, and I'll say it again tonight. I really think those 3 walks to end Derek Lee's night were a direct byproduct of the first 2 at-bats he had in the ball game. He had some of the best swings we've seen him take all year. And that will change your mind as an opposing team when you see one guy step up to the plate and have the kind of at-bats that Derek did last night his first 2 times up. You immediately have to shift your game plan. We cannot let this guy beat us.
It's like the old Tommy Two-Tone song, I think. Bourne coming in, and that's the inning. Well, a single, but no base runners for the Cubs. 1-0 Houston after 1. One to nothing Astros as we start the second. Hunter Pence aggressive going after that first pitch. Ramirez spinning around and throwing him out. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Astros tomorrow at 1:20. Kids get to the ballpark early. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will get a Cubs home batting helmet. Compliments of Pepsi. Pudge Rodriguez First start of the series, hit his 300th career home run here on May 17th off Rich Harden in a Houston 6-5 win. It was a go-ahead homer. Got the ball back when the fan who caught it in the bleachers adhered to the tradition of tossing back home runs by visiting players. And Pudge said he wanted to hit number 300 here for that reason. Thought he had the best chance to retrieve the ball. The Cub fans accommodated. Although we believed that the fan who caught it probably didn't realize just how valuable that ball was.
I think you're absolutely right. And a lot of times when those home run balls come back on the field, it's not the ball that was actually hit into the stands. I'm sure most people watching know this already, but
that one was.
That one was, yeah. The true bleacher fans, they hang on to a couple of batting practice baseballs and they'll throw the old ball back on the field and keep the home run ball.
Chased a slider for Dempster's first punch out.
So somewhere at Pudge Rodriguez's home, he's got a ball in a case, and if you really look close, it says Naperville Little League on the back of it. That's all right.
So the Cardinals a half game back. They beat the Dodgers last night, and they haven't started tonight because of rain. When they do get started, great matchup, Billingsley and Wainwright. Milwaukee got crushed by Washington last night, as Josh Willingham hit 2 grand slams, and the Nationals lead 1-0 in the top of the second tonight. Also for the Cardinals, Todd Wellemeyer has been taken out of their rotation and is now in the bullpen. He's 7-9 with a 5.79 ERA. Mitchell Boggs, a right-hander, will face the Astros Friday night in his spot. 1-2 on Chris Coast.
If you're a big fan of pitching matchups, on the surface appears to be a real good game in Arizona tonight. Cole Hamels against Dan Herron. That should be a beauty. Well, if you're a fan of good pitching, you should have been here last night. Wandy Rodriguez and Carlos Zambrano locking up, putting zeros on the board, and then we documented in the open of the game tonight how good the Cubs bullpen was last night. Just a tremendously well pitched game.
Chris Coast, normally a catcher, but he's playing first base with Lance Berkman on the DL. Nice play by Derek Lee behind the bag and foul ground. He fires to Dempster, and Ryan goes 1-2-3 in the second. 1-0 Astros after an inning and a half. Aramis Ramirez takes ball one outside. Out on the bleachers, that's where they want him to hit it. And then he went. He let go of the bat, I think, to try to sell that he held up. But that did not fool Jerry Davis at first.
Very reminiscent of Sean Dunston. That's what he used to do on those check swing attempts. Take his hands off the bat as if he wasn't holding it. It couldn't have been a swing.
At least one extra base hit in 5 straight games. That ties a career high. Slow start off the DL, and then he really got locked in. And the Cubs record has reflected it. Which is pretty much what we expected after not facing live pitching for as long as Aramis Ramirez was on the shelf. A very short rehab assignment, and he had to narrow his strike zone down a little bit, and he has done that. That was one of those slow breaking balls you were talking about in the low 70s.
Oh, it can go slower.
Yeah, it can. Wandy Rodriguez was really good last night, along with Carlos Zambrano, but both got no decisions. 7 innings, just 1 run. Rodriguez probably will be the pitcher of the month for July in the National League as Ramirez strikes out. Tonight's Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids. Abby Nieto from Romeoville, Illinois. Connor Myers from McHenry. For more information on how you can be a Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kid, go to WGNradio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Milton Bradley got on 3 times last night, twice via the walk, once on an intentional walk. He stole a big base in the 9th inning. Eventually would be caught stealing home. Wasn't trying to steal home. He was trying to score on a suicide squeeze, but Fontenot couldn't make contact. And Bradley was out by a few steps. That missed badly. 2-1.
You know, one thing about that play last night, and I did not talk about it at the time, but Bradley just kind of gives himself up. He runs right into the tag of Pudge Rodriguez, and that made it a close play at third with Micah Hoffpower advancing from second to third base. If Milton had backed up even a few steps, there probably wouldn't have been any play on Micah Hoffpower advancing on to third. Fortunately, he made it. No harm done. I'll tell you one thing though, Len, looking at that slide that Micah Hoffpower put into third base and Derek Lee's slide into third base a couple of days ago, we've seen a number of the Cubs overslide the bag at second. I want to put that on the to-do list for spring training next year. Probably the quickest and easiest way for a player to hurt himself is an awkward slide.
And that's now a pretty big issue for Derek because he tweaked his neck on a slide last weekend. Ended up missing a start. And Bradley seeing the ball extremely well. Called strike 3 and borderline pitch.
Milton didn't think it was borderline. That pitch looked up. Breaking ball. When it crossed the front of home plate, it had to be up above the letters. He caught it above the belt.
We are email accessible. Len and Bob at ChicagoNow.com. She doesn't seem to be too interested.
She didn't think it was a strike either.
You can tweet us at twitter.com/Len and Bob. One strike on the offensive hero last night, Alfonso Soriano. Interesting night. 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, a double play ball, and didn't run out a ground out. And then he hit the game-winning grand slam.
From the outhouse to the penthouse with one swing of the bat.
Called it his best swing since the All-Star break. As Pudge Rodriguez makes his first trip to the mound.
I certainly wouldn't argue that. And a slider from Chris Sampson down and out over the plate, right where he likes the ball. Caught it right on the barrel of the bat. You think he knew it was gone? He made eye contact with everybody in the ballpark on the first base side of the field before he started his trot.
I seem to recall you saying that you were surprised Soriano didn't have better numbers against Sampson because he is a sinker baller. And right after that, he hit the grand slam. And now Roy Oswalt, something's going on with him. Cecil Cooper's out there with the Astros trainer.
Well, Oswalt has had a series of lower back and groin issues over the last couple of years.
I think he's done.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And I think Cecil Cooper might use a starter. Roy Oswalt is done for the night in the second inning. He does not look comfortable. It makes you wonder if it is a back. They just put LaTroy Hawkins on the DL with shingles in his back. Here's the last pitch he threw. And I think maybe somebody from the dugout told Pudge to go out there. It's Wesley Wright. All right. Thought I saw him say Mike Hampton, who's going to start later in this series. We'll be back. Wright will get as much time as he needs.
Our baseball station is brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Well, the timing couldn't be worse for the Astros. I mean, they lose their top starter, Roy Oswalt, but they lose him after the bullpen had to go 6 last night, or almost 6. I mean, Sampson was in that 6th inning when he gave up the grand slam. LaTroy Hawkins went on the DL, and Doug Brocail is expected to be activated tomorrow. So they're a man short as it is.
Well, this is the last thing Cecil Cooper wanted to have to deal with tonight, to try to patch together 8 innings of baseball from an already ragged bullpen. This should be an interesting evening here tonight.
I wonder what's in that Gatorade cooler. Might not be just Gatorade right now. Wesley Wright will pitch. It'll be a bullpen night the rest of the way for the Astros.
Wesley Wright has 4 major league victories. 2 of them have been right here at Wrigley Field, including his first major league win. You can see he gives up better than a hit an inning, but he also strikes out a better than a man an inning.
Cub fans, don't forget to visit our WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape for up-to-the-minute stats and information designed to give you everything you need to know during the game. WGN Sports Game Zone is available for every Cubs game. It's brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Take one more look at the strike three to Milton Bradley. They may remember that high curve ball. It's tough to tell. I'll tell you, Len, I told you this story on the last time we went to Houston. I was walking out the tunnel behind Roy Oswalt, and if you've ever driven down the freeway behind a car that's out of line, it looks like the front of the car is going one way and the back of the car is going the other way. That's what it looked like when Roy Oswalt was walking down the tunnel at Minute Maid Park. His upper body was turned one direction and his lower body was turned the other direction. Had a lot of problems with his lower back and his groin the last few years.
Well, they want to hang around this race, and right now they're only 3 out. They're going to need him to be healthy. Doesn't appear as though Ed Wade, their general manager, is going to be able to make any sort of big trade, and if he did make a deal, it probably would have been for a starter anyway, even with a healthy Roy Oswalt. So we resume with Wesley Wright to Alfonso Soriano, a high fly. Carlos Lee now onto the warning track, makes the catch, and that ends the second inning. Oswalt got the first 5 outs, and it's 1-0 Houston. And to add insult to injury, Wesley Wright has to lead off the 3rd inning. Cecil Cooper wasn't going to double switch this early, and with a pitcher spot due up first, it's Wright to get his first career plate appearance. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. He got his first major league win, recording 1 out in this ballpark on April 4th of 2008, and his first hit, he's batting 1,000. Well, he grew up in Alabama rooting on the Cubs via WGN. So his first win and his first hit coming in this ballpark. It's got to feel pretty special for him.
Well, right now he's the all-time leader in highest batting average in Major League Baseball history. That'll go in the trainer's bag. Whoever has the best penmanship on the team, there might even be a calligrapher on that Astros staff for all we know, as Dempster airmails one all the way to the backstop, as Bourne was showing bunt right there.
It's a wild pitch. So right now in scoring position.
Just to finish that thought about the first base hit from our Southwest Sky Cam, you see that wild pitch by Ryan Dempster. Somebody will letter it appropriately, the date and the venue, the opposing pitcher, first major league hit. And then they'll take another ball out of the batting practice bag and write all kinds of obscene things on it. And that's the one they will present to Wesley right after the ball game.
Well, there won't be a no-hitter tonight, but when Oswalt left, and you're looking at maybe 5 or 6 Astros relievers working the rest of the night, it kind of jogged my memory. Astros fans, as Fontenot can't stop it, Wright's going to hold at third. They're at the corners with no outs, just like they had in the first inning. Astros fans remember this. June 11th, 2003. Oswalt left to start at Yankee Stadium in the second inning, just like tonight. Due to a groin injury, ended up combining on a no-hitter with 5 relievers.
Those are tough nights, or can be tough nights for an offensive ball club when you see a parade of pitchers, and every at bat you're getting a look at a different arm, different stuff, as opposed to facing the starting pitcher 3 or 4 times in a ball game where you get a much better idea of what he's trying to do. You get a look at his release point and the rotation on his pitches. But when there's a different pitcher on the mound every at bat in a ball game, that can make it tough on an offense.
Well, they had 3 relievers, the last 3 who pitched, who went beyond 1 inning last night, including the closer, Jose Valverde, who went an inning and a third. Bourne takes off, base hit, right field. It's 2-0. Bourne to third, Wright scoring his first major league run. Three straight singles to start the third inning.
That looked like a hit and run on the part of the Astros. Keppinger once again with that inside out swing, his second base hit of the game, both coming to right field.
Miguel Tejada hit a deep sacrifice fly to the warning track in center in the first inning. Little tapper, throw goes to second and gets past Terrio. Boy, a lot going on that play. It's 3-0. Dempster was thinking about a double play. He had Bourne at the plate. He should have been able to throw him out, but I think decided I'm going to go for a double play, and he didn't even get one out.
They never even looked at the runner coming from third base. You could see Coy Hill getting himself into a position for a play at the plate, but Dempster fields that ball and without hesitation wheels and makes a bad throw to second base. Well, that's very uncharacteristic for Ryan Dempster. Normally a very aware pitcher out there on the mound, knows where everybody on the diamond is at any given time, and it's kind of shocking to see Demps make a misplay like that and then compound it with a bad throw to second base.
So fielder's choice for Tejada. He'll get his second RBI. The error on Dempster allowed Keppinger to not only reach second but to go to third. Bourne scored on the play, so it's 3-0. Nobody out, and Carlos Lee at the plate. Swing and a miss at a slider. I mentioned this on the last trip. It was when Kevin Hart, the numbers were good, but he was giving up base runners and was kind of on the edge. The Cubs had like a 6-run lead, and I said it's tougher to manage games like this with a lead. Fly to right. Bradley's going back, took a look back. He's going to make the catch on the warning track, and Keppinger's going to score. So their second sac fly of the night. It's 4-0. I said it was more difficult to manage a game like that because when you have the lead, you do everything you can to win, and it might have forced Lou to use more relievers than he wanted to. It worked out that day, but I think Cecil Cooper is going to end up in a similar spot tonight, Bob. If his team got blown out early, I think he might tell one of his relievers, "You've got 4 innings.
Yeah.
Give me what you have." But he might have to manage a little differently tonight.
And we're not really quite sure about the status of some of his relief pitchers down in that bullpen. That's one of those things that we're never really completely privy to what's going on with a team's bullpen. The manager will tell you, yeah, everybody's available, when in reality there may be a couple of guys down there that are unavailable tonight. Now, this is going to be an interesting ball game. It's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination.
The Cubs roster moved to accommodate Dempster's return. Justin Berg, who did not make his major league debut, was optioned to AAA Iowa. So Berg was only up here for 3 days. I think he'll be back there. Ground ball right side. Fontenot gets one, and that's it. Fielder's choice for Blum. Last night we really hyped up the pitching matchup. Rodriguez and Zambrano, and they were both fantastic. I don't think much has gone the way anybody thought it would tonight. Dempster has struggled really from the first pitch. And the Astros pitchers haven't given up anything through 2. But Roy Oswalt is out due to an injury. You just never know.
Well, after the Ryan Dempster layoff, obviously you hope for the best. You hope he comes back throwing the ball the way he did before the injury, but you're never sure until he actually gets out there on the mound.
Derek Lee with the grab to end the inning, but they scored 3 times. They don't have an extra base hit tonight, but a lot of singles. It's 4-0. Cubs baseball blog has joined Chicago Now. From now on, you can find the same great content from Len and Bob's blog at chicagonow.com/Len and Bob, as well as WGNTV.com. I have a post about the trading deadline coming up. There's a link to our new podcast, game notes from our friends at Stats Inc., and much, much more. Wesley Wright against Mike Fontenot. Low for ball one. One of the runs in the top of this inning was unearned because of the Dempster error. Wright got the rally started with his first career hit in his first at bat. Fontenot fouls out of play. That's the other weird thing that's happened tonight. I looked down at the scorecard and said, Wright has to lead off the inning. Figured that would play right into the Cubs' hands, but it did not. Two and one. The other part of this bullpen night for the Astros, they may get through tonight okay, but it could affect the rest of this series, and there's still 2 games after tonight in this series. And I guarantee you Ed Wade, the GM's on the phone with somebody from the minor league saying, who's ready, who's available, who can we bring up if needed.
That's why you have your AAA manager on speed dial. I mean, honest to God, there may have already been calls made at this point. They may already have the wheels in motion to get some pitching help up here for tomorrow night's ball game, or tomorrow afternoon's ball game, rather. You have to react very quickly when things start to go the wrong direction.
The kick in the 3-2 to Fontenot. Diving stop by Coast, and Wright covering the bag gets a perfect toss from his first baseman. Here's Coy Hill. He has started 18 straight games. He caught 9 last night. Didn't even catch a whole game. Jake Fox caught the final 4. And he looked fine. A blooper caught by Keppinger. Jake Fox with a big catch of a fastball over his head.
It was going to be over everybody's head. It looked like it was headed to the backstop, but cat-like reflexes. Shot that left arm up in the air, was able to keep the ball from going to the netting.
Dempster swings and misses. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball up the middle, but not hit very hard. That gives Tejada time. And Wright has retired all 4 he has faced since coming in for the injured Oswald. It's 4-0 Astros.
2009, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcast. Visit Cubs.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase.
Four to nothing, Houston. Everything all right over there?
Yeah, just knocked
okay.
the monitor over. Yeah, everything's okay. As long as the equipment's okay, that's all anybody cares about.
Oh, yeah, I don't care about you as much as the equipment. Rodriguez bounces. Ramirez bobbles, but has time. And Derek Lee with the backhand stab. Can't even begin to count the countless errors taken off the board by Derek Lee.
And appropriately, Gary Pressey played Lean on Me, the old Bill Withers tune, as Derek Lee once again bails out one of his infielders on a low throw. The backhanded pick just in time to get Pudge.
Slider for a strike. Gary Pressey, a hand model in his off time, as you saw. Gary's getting a lot of airtime. He because of the curfew, the 10 o'clock curfew here in the Lakeview neighborhood. We didn't hear Gary in the organ here at Wrigley Field for the last several innings last night. We were a half inning away from having to sing the 14th inning stretch. And the Cubs won it in the 13th. 0-2 to Coast. Rolled foul.
Yeah, it was eerily quiet between innings. I mean,
yeah,
fans were talking down in the stands, but yeah, we miss Gary doing his thing between innings.
I would assume we wouldn't have had to do it a cappella. I think Gary would have played.
We need all the help we can get. I'm convinced that's why the Cubs came back and won that ball game. They probably realized, geez, if we go one more inning, we're going to have to listen to those two stiffs sing that song. Let's win this thing and go home.
Soriano with a grand slam. The second latest game-ending grand slam in terms of innings played in the history of Chicago baseball. According to Elias, back on May 28, 1980, Cliff Johnson of the Cubs had a game-ending granny in the 14th off Dale Murray of the Expos. And our good friend Ed Hardig reports it was the completion of a game. He hit the home run on August 8th. But according to Major League rules, the home run was credited to the date the game began. Johnson was still with the Indians at the time. That gets a little confusing. It's kind of like a guy getting a hit before his Major League debut, which technically has happened. Coast swings and misses, and Hill will throw to first. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Wesley Wright is 1 for 1 in his major league career. Singled and scored in the third inning. This is one of those nights. Wesley Wright might have to call some family members and friends after the game and say, did you see what happened? They said, no, I missed it. I was going to turn the game on in the 7th. Oh, I pitched in the 3rd, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. I got my first hit in the 3rd inning. What? You don't pitch in the 3rd inning. I did tonight. Just missed. photographers down at field level. That ball hit hard. I think Cecil Cooper just found himself an extra pinch hitter. Wesley Wright lines out. They go 1-2-3. It's 4-0 Astros. Check out who's moving forward with Toyota. Let's have some games to make up, but the loss column is always the key column. And the Cubs tied for the third fewest losses in the entire National League with 45. And 3 fewer than anybody else in the NL Central. Tonight's Toyota moving forward thanks to Toyota. Cubs trying to get some offense going. They have 1 hit. That was a leadoff single on the first pitch of the night by Kosuke Fukudome off Roy Oswalt, who had to leave in the bottom of the second with an injury. It looked like possibly a back. Bounced foul past Matt Sinatra. Left lower back strain, right? S-T-R-A-I-N.
That's what I heard, yeah. Boy, and he had been really good, as you mentioned earlier, over his last 6 starts. 3 wins and 3 no decisions, but all 3 of the no decisions could have very easily been victories if his team had scored any runs for him.
Wright's 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Mike Everett said Kosuke held up. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Right with his first punch out. It's of the looking variety.
Fastball right on the outside corner at the knees from Wesley Wright.
Here's the other subtle thing. Lou's lineup tonight. You see Wesley Wright isn't too far away from his career high. He's an inning away from his career high in innings pitched. Lou set up his lineup against a right-handed pitcher. There's a lefty in there now. But Lou can't start making switches based on Wesley Wright this early because we're going to see a lot more guys, and most of them will be right-handed.
Yep. And not to mention the preparation that the Cubs went through before the ball game today. As you know, Len, we go down to the clubhouse. One of the TVs is dedicated to the video of the starting pitcher for the opposing team that night. Of course, today they were all watching Roy Oswalt's last outing, trying to glean something that they maybe could use at their bats in the ball game tonight. And before you know it, Roy Oswalt is gone. Now you're facing a guy that you probably didn't study up on quite as much.
Here's the 2-1 to Terrio, now 3-1. By the way, a clarification, there is no official 10 p.m. curfew in terms of the music through the PA here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs have self-imposed that courtesy to the neighborhood. Need to get that straight. Terrio walks, first walk of the night, given up by Astros pitching. And it brings up D. Lee. Got a pop fly to center to end the first. Down for ball one. Outside for ball two.
I was wondering how long we were going to have to wait for the first visit to the mound by Pudge Rodriguez.
I think it's the third, because he went out there in the first inning.
Yeah,
Then
right.
he went the second time when Oswalt got taken out.
You're right.
So as we add it up, it's 3 in 4 innings.
What's the National League record?
Don't know if they keep that stat.
Well, if they did, Pudge would own it. I think back to the days of Carlton Fisk catching for the White Sox and the Red Sox. He was another guy that made a lot of visits to the mound over the course of a ball game. Really tried to take the momentum away from the offense by going out talking to his pitcher.
Ball 4, 2 on for Ramirez. How's Cecil Cooper feeling right now?
Starting to get that queasy feeling in the pit of his stomach.
I mean, you kind of try to map out what you want to do here the rest of the night, but with a 4-0 lead in the heart of the order here, he may have to think about getting somebody up, which obviously he doesn't want to do. And Wesley Wright's role is not to go 3 or 4 innings. It's to go a lot less than he's actually gone tonight.
We may be seeing some signs of the extended outing for Wesley Wright tonight, walking the last 2 batters. I'm going to take a little off and just guide one over the middle of the plate here.
Quick look at his pitch counts. 41 is his season high. Two and 0. So he's still under 30 pitches, but he's not throwing strikes right now.
Another interesting factor to consider is that Wesley Wright, as a middle to late relief pitcher, left-handed specialist at times, he's not used to facing the same hitter twice in one ball game. And the wheels have really come off for him here.
lefties and righties are hitting over 300 against him. He still hasn't given up a hit, but he's walked 2 and he's 3-0 on Ramirez. He has walked, the bases loaded. So the tying run will come up. Milton Bradley, and from his stronger side, the right side. This will be the last guy Wright will have faced for the first time tonight. Here's a pitch to Bradley. That one missed. And one guy in this lineup who's not going to let him off the hook in terms of throwing strikes is Milton Bradley. Beautiful sky as we near dusk. That's a strike. I think Milton was going to wait till he got a strike. Reached for it, but he got the call. 1-2.
Wow. It may have been a strike, but it looked really bad. You see where Pudge sets up. You see where the pitch is thrown. He has to reach all the way across the plate. It looked like that ball was close to the outside corner, but because of the way Pudge had to reach across to catch it, it looked like it was way outside.
Fouled back.
So much for framing pitches, huh? You have to reach 4 feet across the plate to catch a pitch and still get a called strike. I guess that framing's a little overrated.
Well, technically it shouldn't matter what the catcher does. It's where the ball is when it crosses home plate, but it's not the way it seems to be. Another 1-2 and another foul. Soriano fly to the warning track against Wright after he replaced Roy Oswalt in the second. Oswalt with a back injury. Driven to center. Bourne's going to catch it. And Terry will score to sacrifice fly for Bradley's 24th ribby. They'll score without a hit here in the 4th. And it's 4-1.
Good battling at bat by Milton Bradley. Sounded like that ball might have just got in a little bit. He still had enough to muscle it out into medium depth center field to drive home the Cubs' first run of the ball game.
With runners at first and second. Soriano has hit 6 of his home runs this year against the Astros. So 1/3 of his homers have come against Houston. Lee at second. Ramirez behind him at first. One and one. Really had to reach for that one.
a hitter. This is where you really have to keyhole. Make sure that if you're going to swing that bat, it's exactly the pitch you want to swing at. Wesley Wright is all over the place right now, missing with his fastball. A lot of mistakes up out of the strike zone. Ooh, there it was. Got a good pitch to hit, put a good swing on it. Unfortunately, fouled it straight back. That's not easy to do as a hitter. When you got a pitcher on the mound that's struggling the way Wright is to throw strikes right now, it's hard to maintain your aggressiveness. You don't want to chase a bad pitch, but you definitely want to be ready to let it go if he throws something in the strike zone. And that time Soriano was ready to swing it.
Wright's 24 years old, 5'11", 160 pounds, second year in the majors. 30 pitches this inning. Over 40 on the night. Fans are up. Runners will go with the 3-2. Here it is. Outside. They're loaded for Fontenot.
Just about to say Lou might pull the trigger right here. Nobody warming up in that Astros bullpen.
He's going to go with Reed Johnson.
Yeah, what a bizarre ball game. Starting pitcher out of the game in the second inning. Are you seeing pinch hitters here in the fourth?
We say no two games are alike. A lot of them feel like games we've seen before, but this one doesn't. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Well, if he can pop one here, that would give the Cubs the lead. Still no hits in the inning. 4 walks and a sac fly. Ground ball, base hit. Lee is in. Ramirez is going to score. It's 4-3. Reed needed that. He's really scuffled since coming off the DL. Went 0 for 6 last night. Comes up with a big pinch hit, 2-run single. And the Cubs are within 1.
And Reed Johnson coming off the bench ready to hit a strike if he got one from our Southwest Sky Cam. Perfectly threads that left side of the infield to drive home 2. Nice going, Reed Johnson.
And strike to Coy Hill. Soriano and Johnson both run, and Rodriguez did not even make a throw. He thought about third, but realized he didn't really have a play.
Boy, tremendous jump, especially Soriano out there at second base. He had a walking lead. Wright never checked on him a second time. Reed Johnson saw Soriano break. He got a huge jump at first. No chance for Pudge that time.
For the first time in this inning, the Astros get up a reliever, right-hander Jeff Fulcino. And now they'll just intentionally walk Hill and go after Ryan Dempster. 5 walks in the inning. So Dempster with a chance to help his cause with the bat. 4-3 the Cubs trail, but they have the bases loaded. Fastball strike.
And we should point it out, anytime Pudge Rodriguez is behind the plate, you have to be aware of pickoffs at the bases, and this would seem to be an ideal time to try to bail out his pitcher. Wesley Wright is putting on a demonstration of aerobic pitching right now. He's just getting a sign and hoping to throw it somewhere near the glove of Pudge Rodriguez. You'd have to say this is going to cook Wesley Wright, at least for tomorrow, possibly for the rest of the series.
Two outside corner called strike 3, but the Cubs are back in it. They get 3 on just 1 hit. Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Andres Blanco comes into play second after Reed Johnson came off the bench, knocked in 2 with a pinch hit single. So it's a new life for Ryan Dempster, who did go 1-2-3 in the 4th. Fouled back. It's 2-1. Bourne with 2 hits and 2 runs already. Put together a really nice year after struggling last season. Last year's first year with Houston hit .229 with a .288 on base percentage. Swings and misses, so Dempster comes back and strikes him out. There's no better place for Cubs fans to hold an event than Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse in Chicago, Rosemont, or Lombard, or Harry Carey's Tavern right here in Wrigleyville. Call 773-HOLY-COW or visit harrycareys.com to plan your event today. Jeff Keppinger drills one deep to left center, and it's in and out of the vines. And Fukudome will get it back in. Keppinger with a double. He's 3 for 3.
I mentioned the numbers for Keppinger against Ryan Dempster coming into this game. He was 6 for 15 lifetime. Obviously adding to that here tonight. Just seeing the ball really well against Dempster.
Tejada without a hit, but he has 2 RBIs. Sac fly, fielder's choice. 0 for 1 officially. Breakers in there, strike 1. Rangers righty Vicente Padilla still battling the swine flu and was scratched from tonight's start against Detroit, replaced by a long reliever Doug Mathis for Texas. Randy Johnson has a torn rotator cuff and can't throw for at least 3 weeks. 8 wins this year. And he got hurt on July 5th in a loss against these Astros. That's going to be a while. Can't even play catch for 3 weeks. Got to add a few more weeks to that. And as Tejada goes into the corner left field and gone, a home run. He just missed a homer in the first inning, but doesn't this time. That's his 9th of the year. And that's a big one for Houston after the Cubs got 3. Tejada goes deep. And it's now 6-3.
It looked like some kind of an off-speed pitch, maybe a straight changeup that stayed belt high on the inside part of the plate for Tejada, and he just does tuck it into the bleachers down that left field line.
Lee hits it foul.
Well, with Oswald leaving the game early for the Astros and Dempster not pitching extremely effectively at this point, I think both managers understand it's just going to be one of those nights. No sense exhausting your bullpen, exhausting your bench, trying to go for the knockout punch when this is probably going to go to the scorer's cards here tonight.
The homer for Tejada, his 280th career long ball. So he's only 20 away from 300. I suppose if he has a huge second half, they could have 4 guys reach 300 homers in the same season. Lee is only 3 away, trying to become the 3rd Astro to do that this year. Lance Berkman and Ivan Rodriguez have already hit number 300. No team has ever had 3 guys hit 300 in the same season. Also, Carlos Lee trying to become the only Panama-born player in Major League history to notch 300 homers. Still 1-2. Base hit left field on a broken bat. And a phone call down to the bullpen as the Cubs will see some action. Mr. Strode is getting up. Sean Marshall. Blum pulls it foul. Well, the top of the order tonight, Bob, has done a ton of damage for the Astros. Bourne with 2 hits, 2 runs. Keppinger's 3 for 3. Tejada has 4 RBIs. Lee a sac fly and a single. They only have 1 hit below Lee, and that was from the pitcher Wright. Blocked by Hill.
Ryan Dempster shaking his head out there on the mound like he's trying to shake the cobwebs out. Just very uncharacteristic outing for Ryan tonight, which I guess shouldn't be totally unexpected. I knew he had a lot of adrenaline going tonight. He wanted to get back into the rotation and contribute to this winning streak the Cubs have going, and just doesn't seem to have anywhere close to his good stuff tonight.
Did not have a rehab start. This is his first start in almost 4 weeks. Worked extremely hard to come back pretty quickly, and we talked about his pitching coach, talking about Ryan's attitude, and Larry really believed that your attitude in terms of your rehab does affect how fast you can come back. Lee takes off. Blum bounces in the right, and that'll send Carlos Lee to third base. Lee picks his spots and ended up hitting and running there, and Ryan may be right near the end. 4 straight hits.
Some of them struck well, some of them just found holes. This one a hard ground ball just past Derek Lee down there at first base. I'm not sure if that was a hit and run or whether Carlos Lee just thought he could get enough of a jump to steal the base.
He ran like he was trying to steal it. And chokes up just a little bit on that bat. One hopper, Blanco with the flip and the turn. 4-6-3, double play to get out of the inning, but a 2-run homer by Tejada makes the deficit 3. with a nice play on a tricky hop as he had to play that short hop backing up. He starts a 4-6-3 double play. Not an easy backhanded flip either. It's tonight's Have a Ball thanks to the Illinois Lottery. Cubs batted around in the 4th inning, scoring 3 times off left-hander Wesley Wright. Now right-hander Jeff Fulcino will take over in a first pitch strike to Fukudome. Wright went 2 1/3, gave up 3 runs, 5 walks, only 1 hit. He struck out 2. Now 2-1. Kosuke singled to start the bottom of the first. He tried to stretch it into a double as Michael Bourne slipped out in left center, and he was thrown out 8 to 7 to 6. Chino's just missing 3 and 2. Chino's not allowed a hit, run, or a walk in his last 4 appearances. Earlier this month, he did go 5 innings, a career high, in relief at San Francisco on July 3rd. Might have to do that again. I would assume Ryan Dempster's done after 5 innings because he's thrown 85 pitches. That's right at the limit set by Lou Piniella and Larry Rothschild. So after Fukudome bats, we might see the next Cubs pitcher to get up in the bullpen. Nobody up right now. And Fulcino trying to find it. It's in his jersey. And Fukudome safe. Ball got lost inside the pitcher's jersey.
Oh. I told you it was going to be a weird night here tonight.
It just continues this bizarre night. That's a hit, right? It is.
Astros may want to consider going with zip-up jerseys. And hit off the heel of his glove and snuck in there between 2 buttons. Fulcino just kind of threw his hands up in the air. What am I supposed to do about that? Where'd it go? Stick around.
Oh. 1-0 on Ryan Theriot. Just when you think you've seen everything.
Yeah, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
You go a lot of different places with this. Is it like the Ivy? If you don't reach in, it's only 2 bases, but if you reach in and can't get it, the guy can just keep running.
Brother.
Don't know if the ground rules specify what happens when it's literally lost inside someone's clothing.
What if it had gone all the way around to the back and he can't reach it?
Well, we might have seen a reprise of Steve Lyons.
Oh.
He pulled down his trousers once.
An inside the park home run because you hit a ball inside the guy's jersey out there on the mound. How about that?
What if he had the ball in his jersey and he did a little kind of a sumo wrestling tactic, like the belly bump to tag a guy out?
You have to have possession of the ball.
Well, that's possession, right?
In an appendage, not necessarily in your shirt. Oh, man.
Trying to picture Chris Coast catching Jeff Fulcino at first base.
Well, Chris Coast is a big, strong guy, but I think even he would be a little overmatched by the big pitcher out there on the mound right now.
You caught a glove once,
yeah,
which we've mentioned before, and that replay is going to join the Terry Mulholland glove and ball flip over to you at first base. 2-2 to Terrio. The pitch, golfed into right, but Pence will catch it.
The Bud Light Concert Series is back. The Allman Brothers in Widespread Panic will be playing Charter One Pavilion August 2nd and 3rd. Brought to you by Bud Light. Tickets are available exclusively at livenation.com. That's the Allman Brothers in Widespread Panic August 2nd, 3rd. Brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability.
Widespread Panic does the cover of I Feel Fine and Summer Breeze. Just think the dichotomy of the name of the band. Only one of those songs would be perfect. Every little thing's going to be all right. Here's Widespread Panic. Fukudome still at first, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Astros leading 6-3. They announced the attendance a little bit earlier than normal tonight, and it's a special night. Cubs going over the 2 million mark and their 50th home date. As Lee pops it up and just into that front row. So their 50th home game, they get to 2 million fans. That ties the single season club record. 2 millionth fan came through the turnstiles last year in the 50th home game. At their current pace, they would get up in the 3 million category in home attendance for the 6th straight season. Cubs are the only Chicago professional sports franchise to ever reach 3 million in attendance. One of 5 teams in baseball to do it each of the last 5 years. 40,814 tonight. The 2-1 to Lee is high, 3-1. You walked him. Ramirez will bat as a tying run. Don't you miss going through what Cecil Cooper's going through tonight?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
And he's ahead. His team's ahead by 3.
I guarantee you it doesn't feel like it down there in that first base dugout.
He doesn't look like he's too thrilled right now. Lost his starting pitcher with a back strain. Roy Oswalt left in the 2nd inning after a 13-inning game last night. By the way, Cecil Cooper was referenced. His former teammate and roommate, Jim Rice. mentioned him in his Hall of Fame speech on Sunday. Caught the inside corner, 1-1.
RBI situation for Aramis Ramirez. These are the at-bats where early in the count he'll look for something he can drive hard to left field, try to do big damage. If he happens to get to a 2-strike count, look for him to try to drive the ball the opposite way. That was a home run swing and a sinker down and in. Just got a piece of it, fouled it away.
They are underway in St. Louis, bottom of the first. Dodgers and Cardinals, no score. Cubs are a half game up on the Cards in the NL Central. Dodgers are 8 ahead of the pack in the West. Rockies are in second. 1-2 high drive by Ramirez. Lee's back on the warning track. Tie game. Ramirez with a 3-run homer. And it's 6-6. Keeps his extra base hit streak alive. That's 6 games. Wow, is he hot.
Just a monster blast to left field by Aramis Ramirez. Carlos Lee went after that ball like he might have a chance at the warning track, but it was well up into the bleachers in left center field.
He's back. 13 hits in his last 6 games. He's 11 for 20 on the homestand. And he just tied it. Bradley strikes out.
Just a monster drive to left center field. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 368 feet. It was a mile in the air. Had a lot of hang time on that home run.
The Cubs get a lot of their runs on homers. Only the Phillies have had a higher percentage of runs via the home run in the entire league. Almost 43%. Inside to Soriano. Well, the Cubs were down 4-0 and then 6-3. And now back to even at 6-6. It'll be up to the bullpens the rest of the way. It's like Marshall's going to pitch in the 6th. How about this? If the Cubs can squeak out one more run this inning, Ryan Dempster could qualify for the win. Got a ball lost in the jersey of the pitcher. What a night. We're only about halfway there. Maybe. And the left center, but Bourne will make the play. And that ends the inning. 3-run homer by Aramis Ramirez. Ties it up at 6-6. Accord game summary. This is a first of 5 pages in terms of what's transpired through 5 innings. Roy Oswalt left in the 2nd inning with a left lower back strain, so that's put a strain on their bullpen as well. 3 runs on 1 hit in the 4th, 3 runs on 2 hits in the 5th. Ramirez tying it up with a homer. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive a 2009 Honda Accord. Sean Marshall takes over. Ryan Dempster gets a no decision. The pitch to Pudge Rodriguez. Ball 1. Sean is 26. Terrio spins, throws, and gets Rodriguez.
Nice play by Ryan Terrio, ranging up the middle of the field. Pudge Rodriguez at one point in his career ran really well. That's not the case anymore, and Terrio has a chance to spin around, right himself, and make a strong throw to Derek Lee.
For ball 1 to Coast. Happy anniversary wishes. Maureen Sheehan returned from Ireland today, married 20 years ago. Happy anniversary. Get well wishes to Fred Graybeck, who's at University of Illinois Medical Center, watching from his hospital room. Lifelong Cubs fan from Hobart, Indiana. Hope you're feeling better, Fred. Coast grounds out. Terrio's made a couple of plays. We should note, with Ryan right in the middle of the action, this great auction to benefit Cubs designated charities. Basically a day with Ryan Terrio. You can have lunch with him, and then hit, field, and play ball here at Wrigley Field. 4 tickets to the game. Auction closes tomorrow night, so go to Cubs.com and to the auction section. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hang out with Ryan Terrio. Jeff Fulcino. 2 balls, no strikes.
Speaking of Ryan Terrio, Len, we know how cruel ball players can be, and the giveaway here at Wrigley Field tonight, the Fathead Tradables. It's a card with a picture of Ryan Terrio making a real nice backhanded play, sliding on his left knee. Got his shades on, looking really good. Well, one or more of his teammates has these cards all over the Cubs clubhouse. Not only the cards, they just cut out the picture of Ryan. Somebody took the trouble to just cut the picture of Ryan out of the card. And I mean, they are on every square inch of that clubhouse, on the tables, on the walls, in the bathroom, in the showers, everywhere. Guys have way too much time on their hands.
Fulcino, the second Astro to pick up a hit in this game, and it's going to be a double at that. That's his first career hit. His 3rd career at bat.
Oh, man. I guess we didn't scout their relief pitchers enough as hitters. Fulcino spanks that one down in the corner like he knew what he was doing. Long run for Soriano, who was shaded over into the gap in left center, not expecting Fulcino to pull the ball, but surprises everybody by hitting one down that left field corner, including himself.
I usually get the full chino when I go shopping for khakis. Low foul past Dave Clark, the third base coach.
Sounds like something you'd get at your local coffee shop.
Yeah. Up and in, 1-2 on Michael Bourne. Angel Guzman should be fairly well rested. Did not pitch in the marathon last night. Marshall's 1-2. Moves low and away. Dempster in his return from the DL went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 were earned. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 3 and gave up the home run to Miguel Tejada. Ground ball, long run. Blanco knocks it down. He's going to throw to third. Save. Excellent play by Blanco. He knew he had no chance at Bourne. Tried to get Fulcino at third as he just rounded the bag, and he almost did.
A great awareness by Andres Blanco. I'll tell you, defensively, he's as good as we've seen here in the infield in Wrigley in a long time. Just to get to that ball, realizes he has no play at first. He's going to take a chance throwing behind the Astros pitcher, and very nearly got the third out of the inning. I mean, that's just knowing where everybody is on the field, knowing where your best option is to try to get an out.
And Lou's coming out. Jeff Keppinger kills lefties. .345 in his career. He's 3 for 3, and Lou's going to make a double switch. He's going to go with Guzman. Michael Hoffpower will replace Bradley in right, and Guzman, the hard-throwing righty, will come in a 6-6 tie in the 6th, and the Astros are threatening with 2 outs. Will switch. He'll bat 9th and play right. Angel Guzman will be inserted into Milton Bradley's spot. That's the 5th place in the Cubs order. And this is the percentage move because of what Keppinger normally does against lefties.
Well, ideally, Angel Guzman gets the Cubs out of the inning right here, but if not, you've also got the right-hander for Tejada and Carlos Lee, the next 2 scheduled hitters for the Astros. And I would assume Lou's going to want to extend Angel Guzman a little bit tonight as well.
And a lob to first. Cecil Cooper could try to make something happen here with Bourne running. However, he has a relief pitcher at that, at third. Bourne may just try to steal anyway, but
yeah. I don't think it would be any kind of a trick play, try to sneak the pitcher down the third baseline and steal home as Bourne breaks for second, but Bourne certainly could try to steal second base here to get himself into scoring position.
One and one to Keppinger. The wind is non-existent at the moment. Very calm night in terms of the weather, but that's the only thing that's been calm. One and two. He's a strike away from helping Sean Marshall out of this jam. Usually Sean's a guy to come in with runners at first and third. Tonight it's the righty Guzman. Bourne takes off. Called strike three. That ends the inning. Bottom six, we're tied 6-6. Press box, clubhouses, dugouts, and much more. Tours are available on select dates throughout the season. Tickets are $25, and a portion of the proceeds benefit Cubs designated charities. For more info to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Andres Blanco takes ball one from Jeff Fulcino. B.J. Ryan pitched tonight for AAA Iowa. One scoreless inning. He walked one. Did not give up a hit. Cubs recently signed a former all-star closer to a minor league deal after he was cut loose by the Blue Jays. Andres bunted at it, 1-2. Hill on deck. Blum the catch.
This kind of ball game, Lendon, managers are more likely to make double switches. We saw it happen as Guzman came into the ball game for the Cubs. Lou brought it like a Hoffpauir into the game as well. Otherwise, we'd have that pitcher spot on deck. You'd have to more than likely pinch hit for the pitcher and then go to the bullpen once again. That's one of the main benefits of the double switch. You don't have to worry about that pitcher spot coming up as soon. You can extend the pitcher maybe for an extra inning before his spot rolls around in the batting order, and then you have to make a decision whether to pinch hit for him or not.
Fair ball picked up by Coast. If you missed it earlier, Roy Oswalt only went an inning and 2/3 left with a left lower back strain. At one time, the Astros led this one 4-0. But if you think about the big picture and the fact that the starter was knocked out early, they're a man down as it is in the bullpen. I think one way Cecil Cooper can look at it is they're fortunate to be tied. Each reliever has given up 3 runs, and both were hemorrhaging, but they are in the game. The other thing about baseball, you can have an awful night from your pitching staff, but if your offense comes through, you can still win. And both teams haven't gotten the pitching they were hoping to get tonight. Ryan Dempster just coming back from the disabled list. The Cubs offense has put up 6. And how many times did the pitching staff bail out the offense early this season? Or at least keep the offense within striking distance. Lee comes over, but no play.
Certain we touched on that several times in the first half of the season. The starting pitching had been so good, but they were suffering from a lack of offensive support, and we pointed out that at some point this season it's the pitching staff that's going to need some help from the offense, and we're seeing a real good example of that here tonight.
How about last night?
Yeah,
It was a 1-1 tie, and Soriano hit the grand slam in the 13th inning. Keppinger, that spin around that we've seen a lot tonight. They go down in order. They'll head to the 7th, tied at 6.
that tonight's gonna be a good night.
That's a fair ball. Ramirez from his knees gets Tejada at first. What a play by Ramirez. He's done it all tonight.
I wonder how many people here at Wrigley Field tonight or watching at home had to hold their breath when they saw Ramirez leave his feet diving for a ball near that third base line. That's very similar to the play that he injured his left shoulder on, that time able to come up, throw from his knees to get the out at first. Tremendous play.
By the way, tonight's Bud Light fan cam with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. Carlos Lee against Angel Guzman. Low and away, ball one. Gary Meyer from WGN Radio will conduct the seventh inning stretch tonight. Long time Chicago radio personality. Two and 0 to Lee. A wind, the pitch. Good rip. Fouled it back to the screen. Well, the Nationals beating up on the Brewers again, 8-2 late. Milwaukee is under 500. A game under at 49 and 50. Another foul. And they're in the bottom of the eighth in that one. Niger Morgan led off the game with a home run. Guzman, Dunn also going deep. Ryan Braun for Milwaukee. Tough to strike out Carlos Lee. Cincinnati ended its six-game losing streak last night, but lost tonight to the Padres, 3-2 the final. Way inside. Full count to Lee. Kevin Correa over Bronson Arroyo. Heath Bell with his 25th save for the Padres. Career homers for Lee here at Wrigley Field. Third most among active players in terms of opponents coming in here. And he goes deep to left, but not that deep, and Soriano will catch it. Always hold your breath when Carlos Lee and Adam Dunn and guys like that hit fly balls in this small ballpark.
Yeah, you see the trajectory of the ball off the bat, and you have to hold your breath until you see where that outfielder is headed. And that time Soriano actually might have had to come in a step or two to make the play as he went toward that foul line.
Two outs, nobody on. It's Jeff Blum. That is deep. Hawk power on the track. Gone. Jeff Blum with a go-ahead home run. He ended 2 games in Houston, beating the Cubs earlier this year, and he makes it 7-6 tonight.
It's called laying in the weeds right there. Jeff Blum, you figure you're in pretty good shape once you get past Tejada and Carlos Lee in this Astros lineup, and then Angel Guzman makes a mistake over the middle of the plate, and Jeff Blum gets it into the front row in right center field.
First run given up by the Cubs pen in the series. Two and one. Last night, Shawn Johnson, a gold medal winning gymnast and a Dancing with the Stars champion, conducted the stretch. She was really nervous, as anyone who's been up here to sing. Now, Gary Meyer's a little older than 17. I'm not sure of his exact age, but I think he's as nervous as Shawn was.
I'll tell you this, he did some nice backflips down the hall coming over here to the booth. So
high drive, Fukudome tracking, and it is time for the stretch. 7-6 Houston.
Conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is WGN radio personality Gary Meyer.
Wrigley, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back, 'cause it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Cubs Nation, let's go to the World Series this year.
Here in the bottom of the 7th, Gary Meyer from WGN Radio in the booth with us.
Hey, Len.
Hi, Gary.
Have you ever seen a ball get caught in the pitcher's jersey?
I have not.
I brought that with me. I brought that mojo with me tonight.
Apparently
for
so.
you guys.
It's been a bizarre night, Gary. 2-0 to Fukudome's fouled back. Well, how was it? I know you've been talking about it for a while in anticipation.
You go through this in your sleep for at least a week before the game. And as I've mentioned on the radio, we went to a go-kart track on Sunday, and my daughter was passing me on the go-kart, yelling, "You're going the wrong way," number one, and sing the song. So it was continuous for hours and hours every day in the last week.
3-1.
Was I okay?
Kosuke.
What was that? I just stepped on
you. You hit maybe one note at the end, which might have been the only one you hit, but you got all the words right. And that's all that matters.
That and the enthusiasm. You bring some enthusiasm, you win them over right away.
I don't have to make a living singing, so what do I care?
You did great.
Thank you.
A lot of enthusiasm as Fukudome takes a leadoff walk. Well, a lot of people in Chicago have been listening to you for many, many years. You sound like you're having more fun than ever.
This seems to be the most fun I've ever had on the radio in all my years, because we broadcast from the studio on Michigan Avenue. That's right there in the middle of everything. And I go in every day and I have a good time. That's what it's all about, right? This is not
Absolutely.
a job. This is whatever it is, and we enjoy it.
Right.
Look at, I mean, you have this incredible vista here. You come to work every day, you see this. 6 months a year, Len. I'll take it.
It's a labor of love. There's no doubt about that.
Bob, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Gary. How about yourself?
Low and slow, buddy.
Low and
As
slow.
they say.
That's always my advice. Low and slow. I got to ask you, though, I mean, and rightfully so, you've been selected many, many times one of the 100 most influential talk show hosts in America, but I didn't realize there was such a thing as a Talkers magazine.
Yeah, Talkers Magazine. Yeah, a top 100. There are only 101 talk show hosts in the country, so that's not much of an accolade, I think.
But you made the list.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Do you subscribe to Talkers magazine?
I do not.
No,
I don't.
Does anybody?
I don't know anything about it. I've heard about it. I think if you start believing that, then you start, as I say, believing your own press, and I don't want to do that. I don't, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just going in, whatever it is, it is.
I only subscribe to the Crossroads. As Bourne going back, calling off Pence, makes the running catch on the warning track. That'll send Fukudome back to first base. In your long broadcasting career, did you ever do baseball play-by-play?
No, never have. And I've been up in the broadcast booth a couple times over the years. And it is amazing, and I know it sounds like a cliche, the beautiful park and all that, but this park at night seems like it's in outer space. It's all black in the back of the park, and you're just floating. On a summer night, this is the night in January I'll go, yeah, that's why we live here, right?
There's no question. And wind not really blowing much, very calm night, a dry night, which has been good and rare this summer. Now, there's no better place to be, that's for sure, than that.
Last Tuesday was over on a rooftop watching the Billy Joel Elton John concert. And even on a rooftop looking over here, couldn't see the stage because of the sight line. It didn't matter. You could hear the music and see everybody in Wrigley having a good time. The party atmosphere on the streets was unbelievable.
Bob and I haven't been able to catch any of the concerts here because we're always on the road. But we heard it was great.
Yeah.
1-1 to Derek Lee. He's walked twice and scored twice.
1 out, bottom of the 7th.
You just take over whatever you want.
Yeah,
You're used to being in the main chair, so that's okay.
I just don't want to be an intrusion. I want to help.
We need all the help we can get, Gary.
This is your territory.
You've interviewed us a few times. The first time we've had a chance to interview you.
Fascinating, isn't it?
That's off the glove of Blum, who slowed it down. And they have 2 on with 1 out.
One of the demands I made, guys, was I'll sing the 7th inning if the Cubs are in first place. So here I am. They're in first place.
Now, while we have a moment here, it's time to take a look at tonight's AM/PM player of the game. A lot of good choices tonight, but we're going to go with the Ramos Ramirez. Big 3-run homer back in the 5th inning to tie up the ball game. Also walked and scored a run in the 4th and made a tremendous defensive play down that third base line on a hard hit ball. No sign of that ailing left shoulder. A strong throw to D. Lee. Tonight's AM/PM player of the game, Ramos Ramirez. Too much good stuff.
Another opportunity here. He tied the game with a 3-run homer in the 5th. 2 on, this time in the 7th. And the Cubs trailing by 1. It bounced up there. Ball 1. Jake Fox is on deck.
7-6, Houston, bottom of the 7th.
Golden tones of Gary Meyer.
Flags are limp in center field.
Caught the outside corner. Now we have you out here for a night game. If this were a 1:20 start, you'd have to be at the ready to cover a rain delay.
I've done, I think, 5 rain delays this year, and I heard all of last year they only had, I think, 2. I've already done 5, and the season has still got a couple months to go.
So you're the reason why the weather hasn't been very good.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a bummer summer, I'll tell you that.
Aramis went around. 1-2. Cubs are trying to hang on to first place, a half game up on St. Louis, and they trailed 4-0 early. Roy Oswald only went 1 2/3. He left with a back injury, and it was a tough night for Ryan Dempster.
Who's that Houston pitcher who threw 15 balls or something like that in a row?
Wesley Wright. Called strike 3, 2 outs. So we'll see Jake Fox.
This is a rarity. You rarely see Aramis Ramirez take a called third strike, especially on a fastball. Obviously caught looking for something else right there. He had checked the swing on the slider the pitch before. Must have been guessing he was going to get another one. Instead, Fulchino threw him a fastball right down the middle.
So Fox batting for Guzman. Still 2 on, 2 down. As Fulchino has worked pretty hard tonight. So Gary, what's your favorite thing about Chicago other than coming to Wrigley Field on a night like this?
Well, I've lived here my entire life, and I don't think ever get real tired of anything here, because like I said last week when I was watching the Joel John concert and watching the people all in this mood of partying in the middle of summer, you realize, yeah, this is why we live here. When the weather's great, there's no place like it. You come along the lakefront. That lake, I think, really makes a big difference. A nice body of water in the middle of a city, that's good. That's real good. I just like being in the city. I like everything about it. You drive in from any direction, you look at that skyline, and you think, yeah, this is why I live here. And I check that off. I have a list. This is why I live here. But in January, I go, why am I living here? Why am I living here?
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal winter, but it's such a great city. And, you know, obviously Bob and I go to all the different major league cities. The skyline is unparalleled. It really is.
My wife is from Pittsburgh. Now, that ballpark is beautiful. It's right on the river there in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, the team doesn't perform that well, and they don't get the crowds like Wrigley does. That's too bad, because it's a beautiful park.
It really is. That's low, 2-2.
Biggest crowds they get in Pittsburgh are when the Cubs go there. A lot of the Cub fans make that trip.
It's too bad. Because it's really a great park. And they took elements from Wrigley and put it in that park. You can tell when you look at the field. There's some Wrigley Field in there.
Swing and a miss. Gary, been listening to you for years.
Thanks, Len.
The best in the business. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Appreciate it, Bob.
Nice job.
It's a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
A couple of scoreless frames Actually, an inning and 2/3 in extras last night.
And that inning and 2/3 of shutout baseball extended his scoreless inning streaks to pretty much everything he's done in the big leagues. 5 2/3 is yet to allow a run. Good four-seam fastball that he'll elevate across the top of the strike zone. Good breaking ball to go along with it. That's kind of an unorthodox delivery.
Pudge Rodriguez, line shot, and it's caught by Soriano. Got turned all the way around, but was able to locate the ball and make the catch.
I never dreamed I'd hear these words come out of my mouth, but that's a nice defensive play by Alfonso Soriano. He got turned the wrong direction. A lot of hook on that line drive off the bat of Pudge Rodriguez. Nice recovery, nice running catch by Fonzie.
Strike to Coast. Matt Cada is on deck, and looks like Jose Valverde is going to try to get a 2-inning save as he's loosening in their bullpen. And Bob, I think when Valverde is in the game, even though he's probably going to have to get the final 6 outs tonight, I think that's the only point tonight since Oswalt left where if Cecil Cooper, while he can't relax, he can take a deep breath, because it'll be the first time it'll be a normal type situation. And even then, it's not totally normal because he has to bring him in an inning early. But all the Astros manager has been thinking all night is, I just have to find a way to get to my closer. And he will get to him with an 8th inning lead. Jeff Stevens trying to keep it just at 1. Three and 2 to Coast.
Well, not to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but the Cubs' job in the bottom half of the 8th inning is to try to run up some pitch count on Valverde if possible. His command was real spotty in the ball game last night. As Chris Coast will take a base on balls. Yeah, try to run up that pitch count as high as possible in the 8th inning to make it dicey for him to come back for the 9th. 74 appearances last year for the Astros, 72 innings pitched. He's not a guy that's accustomed to going more than 1 inning.
Well, and if Valverde does go 2, Hawkins is on the DL. So their top 2 right-handers probably not available tomorrow. I mean, we know Hawkins won't be. He's out for the next 2 weeks at least. Cada batting for Fulcino, although the way it's gone tonight, surprised Cecil Cooper didn't use a pitcher to pinch hit.
Yeah, relief pitcher.
Cada switch hits. Lefty now against the righty. Broke his bat as he hit it foul. Stay tuned after our game. The WGN News coming up. Mark Sapelsa, Micah Mater, Tom Skilling with the weather. Rich King will have all the highlights from this one and other sports action. Ground ball as Blanco ranges to his left and throws out Cada. Coast is in scoring position with 2 outs.
And even with 2 outs in the inning, runner in scoring position. Never rule out a bunt for a base hit for Michael Bourne. Big part of his offense. 11 bunts hits already on the season. Ramirez playing way back at third, as is Derek Lee over at first base. Now Ramirez will come in several steps as Stevens goes into the set position.
Knee-high fastball for a strike. That's a four-seamer from Stevens. Mike Pelfrey beat Jason Marquis tonight in New York. Mets 4, Rockies nothing the final. Marquis pitched well, 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned. Suffered his 7th loss. He has 12 wins and a 3.47 ERA. We'll see. The Rockies going to be close. Post got back in. We'll see them on this next trip. We'll also see the Florida Marlins. They're playing pretty good ball. 4-3. They beat the Braves. Got 2 in the bottom of the 9th. Well, didn't like that call. 2-2. Let's see where it was.
Now Stevens has a lot of break on that big overhand curveball. Mostly down, but a little bit side to side.
In the dirt. Ross glowed with a game-ending 2-run homer. Pinch hit, 2-run homer for Florida. The bottom of the 9th. Heilman up for the Cubs. Ball 4. Well, let's look ahead. As Coy Hill's going to go out and talk to Stevens. There's a little extra time to think about his options. And a chance for us to look at this upcoming trip. It's a long one. 3 in Florida, 3 at Cincinnati. Off day next Thursday in Denver. And then a wraparound set at Colorado. Pretty good chance the Cubs will face Jason Marquis, who was excellent here against the Cubs earlier this season.
5 nights in the same hotel in Colorado. Ooh, that's a long time to spend in any one city. As much as we like Denver, that's a long time to be in one city.
And the Rockies have been okay at home, 27-21 overall, even though they lost their 2nd straight tonight. They've been pacing that wild card race, so it won't be easy. Jim Tracy's their manager. He replaced Clint Hurdle earlier this season. So Lou to the mound. And he wants Aaron Heilman, who will come in with 2 on and 2 out here in the 8th. 7-6 Astros. Aaron Heilman will face Jeff Keppinger. We saw Aaron in the 8th last night. He went 1-2-3 with a strikeout. That's clubbed as Fukudome is tracking, and he can't get it. Did all he could, got a good jump on it, but Keppinger is going to try for a triple as he knocks in 2. And the Astros have a 3-run lead again. 9-6. Keppinger putting together a career-type night with 4 hits and 3 knocked in.
After 2 opposite field singles, his first 2 at bats, Keppinger's pounded that ball hard to the left side of the field. That one just past a diving Kosuke Fukudome in center. Michael Bourne gets a chance to stretch it out a little bit, scoring all the way from first base.
Those would be the first runs charged to rookie Jeff Stevens.
And we made such a big deal about Sean Marshall and his ability to come into some tough jams and pitch his way out of them. Only 3 of the 30 inherited runners this season have scored against Sean Marshall. That hasn't been the case with Aaron Heilman. He has not done a very good job when coming into a ball game in trouble already. And with those 2 inherited runners there, that gives him 31 total inherited runners on the year. 15 of those have come around to score.
Three and 1 on Tejada. Well, Mark Burley, good and bad tonight for him. He set a major league record by retiring 45 straight batters over 2 starts. Retired the first 17 Twins tonight. And Ramirez can't get it, and it's 10-6. Tejada, big turn. It'll be a single and an RBI. So Tejada has 5 RBIs.
Oh, hit like a bullet. That tough second hop. Ramirez kind of got caught in between, just tried to hold his ground and field it off to the side. Got through into left field for another hit and another RBI for Tejada.
10-6. So this ties their biggest lead of the night, going back to when they led 4-0. Well, Burley maybe ran out of gas. Maybe the adrenaline wore off, and was charged with 5 runs tonight on 5 hits and 6 1/3. Game is in the 9th. 5-3 Twins. White Sox have had all kinds of trouble at the Metrodome. I don't think they'll be sorry to see that go by the wayside next year. Lee pops it up, and Terrio will make the catch. So they add 3 insurance runs and now have a 10-6 advantage.
Time now to look at our high-def shot of the game, sponsored by Comcast. Back in the 5th inning, Kosuke Fukudome with a comebacker to the mound. Where'd it go? Into the shirt of Jeff Fulcino. That will go down as an infield single for Kosuke Fukudome. Just one of a number of weird occurrences here at the ballpark tonight. Chicago Cubs baseball in high def is sponsored by Comcast.
Well, seeing that replay is left-hander Tim Burdack takes over, not Valverde, with now Houston leading by 4. Brian Gorman pointed at first. Was the play dead, or did he just point? Kind of hard to tell. We'll have to get a clarification on what happens when the ball gets lost inside a jersey. Maybe it is kind of like when you lose it in the vines. I suppose I should know the answer, although that's pretty obscure. 2-1 to Soriano. If you don't reach into the vines, you just put your hands up as an outfielder in a deep drive. It's 2 bases. Once you reach in, they won't stop the play. Nearly impossible, I suppose. Maybe a catcher's mask. Could a ball, I mean, there's no way it could get lodged in a catcher's mask, really. I mean, in the ball that got in the glove of your teammate Terry Mulholland. Couldn't get it out, so he threw the glove. What a game.
What a game.
Full count on Alfonso, and takes a leadoff walk. Something the Cubs have been very adept at tonight, taking walks. 5 of them in the 4th as they scored 3 times to get back into the game. Dewey Robinson wearing out a path between the visiting dugout and the mound. Jeff Baker's going to bat for Blanco. So Fontenot started at second, had only 1 at bat, and then was pinch hit for by Reed Johnson, who knocked in 2 with a single in the 4th. Andres Blanco came into play second, and now Baker hits for him, and will likely take over at second in the 9th. It's a cue shot. Burdack is just going to tag Baker instead of trying to make a throw at close proximity.
Tell you, Len, you mentioned the walks tonight. Certainly a lot of it tonight has to do with the wildness of the Houston Astros pitching staff, but I take it as a great sign for the Cubs offense. That's something that was a big part of everything they did last season. The unselfish at bats, the extended innings, the high pitch counts for the opposing pitchers, the pressure that puts on the defense. And we saw very little of that in the first half of the season, but almost to a man, the Cubs being much more patient in the second half, working those deep counts, taking the base on balls. Of course, they're even nicer when somebody hits a 3-run home run after a couple of walks.
No, that's the old Earl Weaver theory, right?
Yep.
He was way ahead of his time.
Pitching, defense, and 3-run homers.
Coy Hill airs one out deep to left. It didn't get enough of it. 2 outs here in the 8th. Milo's continuing his conversation with the fans in the bleachers. Soriano still at second, 2 outs. It's Hoffpauir who's 0 for 1.
This is only Michael Hoffpauir's 23rd at bat of the season against left-handed pitching. He is pretty much a straight platoon type player, hitting 182 against lefties coming into play tonight, 247 against the right-handers.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Burdack walked Soriano to lead off the inning, but doesn't give up a run. 10-6 Astros. Right-hander Jeff Samardzija got the win last night with 2 scoreless innings. Jeff Blum with a go-ahead home run in the 7th, trying to make it 3 game-winning RBIs this season against the Cubs. The Cubs have been out-hit 14-5 tonight and outscored 10-6. Soriano to leap the catch. 1 away. Quiet night for Hunter Pence. 0 for 4 with a double play. Scoreless in the 6th in St. Louis. They started late because of rain. Dodgers and Cardinals. It's foul. Chad Billingsley, Adam Wainwright matching up. Billingsley's given up 1 hit through 5. Milwaukee beaten tonight by the Nationals again, 8-3. Lined hard into the gap in right center. It bangs up against the wall, and Pence has a double.
And Pence has gotten a little pull happy in the first couple games of this series. That time stays on a high fastball and drives it to right center. That's when he's at his best, using the whole field, taking advantage of his speed, creating extra base hits. You can see why a Houston Astros right-handed hitter would get a little pull crazy with those Crawford boxes in left field. So tempting a target.
Did you ever play with or against a guy who always hit the ball in terms of the field dimensions? You know, would be pull happy at home, but would go the other way on the road if you were an Astro? There been a guy like that? And then I guess the second part would be, can you really do that as a hitter?
Well, I played with a lot of guys that were dead pull hitters regardless of the venue. But, I mean, I guess the good hitters are going to hit the ball hard wherever it's pitched.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake and it should be pulled hard to your pull field, that's what you do. If they make a mistake out over the plate and it should be hit hard the opposite way, you do that.
Up back liner caught by Baker.
I played with a few guys like that.
Well, we hear about pitchers trying to pitch to the conditions in the ballpark and the middle of the field and the deep dimensions in center in some parks. You have to think, hitters do think about that stuff. Whether or not they can execute it is a different question. Well, you hear so much about, and this goes back 10 years, maybe not quite as much now, but guys who got messed up at Coors Field, they'd go to Rocky hitters would go to other places and really struggle offensively.
Yeah, Wrigley Field has had that reputation for visiting players over the years as well, especially when a team comes in here and the wind's blowing out. Guys tend to get in a lot of bad habits trying to lift the ball in the air and take advantage of that wind blowing out, and then you resume your schedule. You go to another ballpark where maybe the conditions are neutral, the park's a little bit bigger, and well, you're hitting these lazy fly balls to the warning track.
The other problem with trying to mold your offensive game to every park is by the time you figure it out, the series is over. 2-2 to Coast. And if you try to do that here, the wind can change so much. It plays so differently depending on the wind conditions. Shallow right, and it drops. Pence is going to score. It's 11-6. A bloop RBI single for Chris Coast.
It's one of those hits. It's only an RBI because there's 2 outs in the inning. With 1 out, Hunter Pence would have had to hold up to make sure that ball got down in right field, but with 2 outs, he's off on contact and scored easily.
Jason Michaels hits for Tim Burdack. We were wondering if, with a 4-run and now 5-run lead, if Cecil Cooper might give his closer Jose Valverde the night off. It was warming up for a potential 6-out save before the Astros tacked on, but now with Burdack out, looks like Valverde will get the ninth. That ball hit very hard by Michaels for a single. Scorecard looks neater than mine.
Last night we very nearly got to that point of no return. I've got 12 innings on my card, but I can split the 12th inning into 3 other innings if I have to. Very, very small innings, but yeah, that's a very neat card right there. Congratulations.
Three hits, a walk, and 3 runs scored by the Astros table setter. This game is not over yet, but assuming for the moment or for the question, the Astros hang on to win. If you're Cecil Cooper, would you take the win the way it might play out versus a loss and Oswalt didn't get hurt?
Ooh.
It's that small picture versus big picture question. It's not an easy one to answer. I mean, they have a chance to get within 2 of the lead, but depending on the seriousness of the Oswalt injury, that's the bigger story. 11-6. Not a safe spot for their closer. But Jose Valverde trying to get the final 3 outs. Houston leading 11-6. One strike on Fukudome. Career high hitting streak extended to 10 games tonight with 2 singles. It lines right at the second baseman Keppinger. Stay tuned. The WGN News follows the game. Mark Sapelsa, Micah Mater, Tom Skilling, Rich King. Well, the 2 starters better get their rest tonight. Tomorrow, Mike Hampton and Randy Wells. Their managers are going to need innings. We'll have it for you 1 o'clock tomorrow. The leadoff man. First pitch around 1:20. And then Russ Ortiz and Kevin Hart on Thursday. Also right here on WGN. That's the makeup game from the rainout earlier this season on May the 15th.
And a manager or pitching coach doesn't have to say anything to the next day's starting pitcher when there's been a ball game like this the night before. It's all you gotta do is pick up the newspaper, look at the box score, and see all your teammates lined up underneath that pitcher section. Both Hampton and Wells know what's expected of them in the ball game tomorrow.
Kick and the pitch outside. 3-1 the count.
Well, we were talking between innings. I'm personally a little surprised to see Valverde in the ball game with a 5-run lead here in the 9th inning. But then when you think about it, Wesley Wright is probably wasted for tomorrow's game. He threw a lot of pitches in this ball game, and Cecil Cooper wants to make sure he has at least one left-handed pitcher available out of the pen tomorrow. So rather than extend Burdack for a second inning. He goes to his closer here for 1 inning.
They also are going to get Doug Kale back from the disabled list, and a lot of times you bring a guy back from the DL, you like that proverbial soft landing. I don't think it's going to be so soft tomorrow.
No.
He'll be one of the first guys they use. Out to talk it over. Well, we have a moment. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is Mark Brady. Skip Ellison is our director. Our associate producer Doug Stanton, the executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our technical director, Roberto Rios, our stage manager in the booth, Paula Ostroba, our studio coordinator back at WGN, Debbie Merrill, and of course our entire WGN crew here at Wrigley Field. Valverde struggling with that strike zone, 2-0. Cubs were able to come back and tie it at 6 on a 3-run homer by Ramirez in the 5th after trailing 4-0 and 6-3, but the Astros have scored the last 5 runs.
And I can't see Jose Valverde on the mound without thinking about Jim Traber. I think I've told the story in the past. Jim Traber was an announcer for the Arizona Diamondbacks and got a little excited one night when Valverde saved a big ball game and he dropped the nickname on him, Papa Grande. Which little did he know, because his Spanish is about as good as mine, that Papa Grande loosely translates into big potato. Yeah, he was trying to get to Big Daddy, but it didn't quite come out the way he meant it to. So the big potato looking to finish it up here for the Astros.
(3-2) with Terrio running and on the hands and muscled foul. Well, Valverde has led the National League 2 straight years in saves. Led the majors in 07 with Arizona. Terrio goes again. Ball 4. He's walked 2 in a row. Pitching coach is back out again.
Jeez. Astros have to lead the major leagues in meetings on the mound, whether it's the pitching coach or the catcher or the infielders or the manager.
See Ramirez, and look who's behind him on deck, Carlos Zambrano. Well, closers are a different breed. A lot of times closers will create their own save situations. A lot of them will tell you that it's just not the same when you're not in a safe spot. Valverde did not have good control last night, and he hasn't had any tonight either. But his stuff is so good. I mean, it's like Carlos Marmol. He'll get people out. He'll find a way. We get swings and misses. A pop up like that. Coast gathers it in. 2 outs. Here's Big Z to pinch hit. Lou has used his whole bench. A walk is as good as a home run here. Z doesn't walk a whole lot. All that matters is that he gets on. Just try to keep this game alive. Oh, 2. Can he shorten up with 2 strikes? Does he have it in him?
Yeah, we've seen him do it from time to time. It's not something he likes to do, but we've seen him hit the ball to the opposite field sometimes with 2 strikes.
And this would be the night to do it.
You know, lost in all the shuffle here, players coming and going. Cubs have been without a backup catcher for the last 2 innings of this ball game. Not only without Jake Fox, but Reed Johnson, who would figure to be the next in line to possibly go behind the plate in an emergency situation.
Number 2, swing and a miss, and the Astros have evened up this series at a game apiece. They win it tonight. A bizarre game to say the very least. 11-6 the final score, and we'll be back to Wrigley Field in a moment.